Gentleman yields. The gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Crane, is recognized for 5 minutes for question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing today. Thank you to the panel for showing up and trying to educate us and help us understand this problem better. Sheriff, I want to say thank you for your service, and I want to start with you. Obviously, we're talking about technology. We're talking about anti-drone technology. As somebody who's been in the field for a long time and supervised others in the field, Sheriff, isn't it true that you can have all the technology in the world, but if your policies don't support the men and women that are designated to protect the homeland, it really doesn't matter?
Yes, sir, I'd have to agree with that.
Would you agree with the fact that this country, we have a massive amount of debt?
Sure do.
Yeah. The reason I bring that up is because I think everybody in here is all about trying to stop these drones and counter the technologies that we see coming into the homeland and making our communities, our families, our states a lot more vulnerable and a lot less safe. But my issue is that this administration, unfortunately, has put policies in place that are completely swamping and overwhelming not only Border Patrol, but you guys as well. Would you say that's correct, Sheriff?
We have definitely, and you missed my open remarks, we have definitely seen a significant increase in my county of illegal alien apprehensions and gotaways. To the tune, at the highest watermark, we had a 417% increase in fiscal year 2022 compared to fiscal year 2020. And that was with apprehensions, and a 467% increase in gotaways that same year.
What about you, Mr. Landrum? Do you agree with that point that you can have all the technology in the world, but if you don't have leadership that's actually dedicated to stopping the flow of whatever it is, whether it be drones, drugs, MS-13 gang members, terrorists, suspected terrorists on the watch list coming through the southern border, it really doesn't matter?
You absolutely need the leadership and the authorization to do it. And something that we as a company and me personally as a retired agent support is the expansion of those authorities, the 124N authorities, to be able to do these activities to state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement officers and agents.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, there's no golden Connex box up here. I mean, well, we kind of act like there is. We just charge it to the American people's credit card and to their kids' credit card and their grandkids' credit card as we run up the national debt. But the bottom line is, like I'm saying, if you don't have policies that actually reflect a desire to stop the flow of what's coming over that southern border, it really doesn't matter, because our law enforcement, our Border Patrol, their budgets are just completely overwhelmed with everything coming over that southern border. I know, Mr. Bartow, is that how you say it? You were talking about, I think, 4 things that Congress can do. Can you repeat that list real quick, sir?
Let me make sure I get it right by actually looking at my notes. Thank you. No. So first of all, we think that DHS can focus its contract requirements on results, right, rather than on input. So you're actually focused on what you want the contract to be able, the results of that contract to be able to help, in this case, Border Patrol agents, for example, to be able to do. What can they do differently? Focusing on results allows you to get past a lot of the problems in the contracting process, including, as we discussed earlier, what happens if technology evolves? Well, if you've got the results built into the contract, you can evolve the contract a little bit. So that's number one. Second is resources, because resources drive strategy way more than strategy drives resources, right? So we urge the Congress to actually give DHS its appropriations on time rather than 6 or 7 months into the fiscal year. So CBP has the money and a whole year to buy it. You'll get the results a lot sooner. Third is, in fact, to hold their feet to the fire in terms of how long contracts take. Get the data, get DHS to be reporting that, get them to give you an annual report that says, here's how long our contracts take. Until you're measuring something, you're not going to be able to take the steps to actually reduce that something. And the fourth is, you got to train the workers to do it, because as you point out, if the workers can't handle it and deal with it, it's going to be a problem, not a solution.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.